St. John Bosco had an incredible knack for recognizing and defining evil when he saw it. He could tell exactly who the bad boys were, those who showed a tendency for evil, even in the smallest things. If these boys didn't improve after several warnings, they were sent away, lest they contaminate the rest of his flock. I'm going to try to show you his great discernment in rooting out evil so that you too can practice it in your own life. But who am I to interpret his writings? I have to rely on other great men to do so, and it will be through the lens of the great Catholic thinker Plinio Correa de Oliveira. At the end of the video, I'll finish with a quote from St. John Bosco that shows how he dealt with boys that sided with the devil. The Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Matthew Miller. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If anything characterizes our times, it's a sense of pervading chaos. In every field of human endeavor, the windstorms of change are fast altering the ways we live. Contemporary man is no longer anchored in certainties, and thus has lost sight of who he really is, where he comes from, and where he's going. If there's a single book that can shed light amid the postmodern darkness, it's Revolution and Counter-Revolution by Plinio Correa de Oliveira. In a masterly display of penetrating Catholic scholarship, this extraordinary Brazilian author and man of action traced the processes of history that have shaped the postmodern man. The book's impressive analysis of a revolutionary process born of pride and sensuality begins with the Middle Ages and decadence, proceeds to a neo-pagan Renaissance and pseudo-Reformation, then to the French Revolution and atheistic communism. The third part deals with the Fourth Revolution, or the Cultural Revolution of the 60s that gave birth to our confusing postmodern times. Perhaps the most important part of this book is the section on the counter-revolution. Professor Plinio showed how to implement truly counter-revolutionary action at the service of the Church. He discussed the tactics to be used and the pitfalls to be avoided. This highly acclaimed work is a sort of manual that all Catholics can have recourse to in resisting the neo-pagan revolution of our days. It's a powerful tool for making sense of the pervading chaos. But what does all this have to do with St. John Bosco? Well, Professor Plinio once read a short passage from Don Bosco's biography from which he deduced many characteristics of the revolution. The oratory was a microcosm of public opinion in the world at large. Professor Plinio wrote, "Paging through the writings of St. John Bosco, I found the following telltale observation." Don Bosco said, "First, in regards to evil people, I will say something which may seem unbelievable, but which, in fact, is really true. Let us suppose that among a group of 500 school children, one is corrupt. Then another perverted student arrives. Both are from different regions and places. They never knew or saw each other. Despite all this, on the second day of school, maybe after a few hours, they're found together during recess. An evil spirit seems to make them guess who else is stained by their same type of darkness. Or it's as if a diabolic magnet pulls them together to create an intimate friendship. The saying, 'Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are,' is a simple means to single out sheep with skin disease before they turn into voracious wolves. They are not for regular schools." The testimony of such a true observer, experienced and competent in the field of teaching, cannot be questioned. Nevertheless, this statement presents an easily recognizable fact before us, even among adults, found in the routine episodes of everyday life, as well as in the great events of history. When evil reaches a certain level of profundity in souls, these acquire a sharp perception which enables them to pick out like-minded souls from afar, noticing things that would seem insignificant to anyone else. Such sharpened perception is interwoven with another peculiarity, a mutual attraction that quickly unites them in close friendship, despite the numerous circumstances that may separate them, such as different birthplaces or age. This is the foundation of a group, or even a trend, that operates like a tumor, distilling poison. This is what happens after that. This bad friendship encourages their bad behavior in direct opposition to the good ambience in which they find themselves. This way of being necessarily engenders antipathies, frictions, and hatred against the majority. Then hatred leads to a fight. This is an inevitable consequence. He who feels uneasy in a particular ambience struggles to change it, and upon stumbling into obstacles, struggles to eliminate them. If these obstacles don't give way passively, a fight breaks out. This fight leads the bad ones to try to increase the number of its followers and find reinforcements. Having put together an opposition force, organization is only natural at this point. Bad people with the same mentality and objectives will soon put together an ideological system, a program, and a common technique of action, and build a leadership group. This is how a few evil ones can immediately recognize the same mentality in one another, get in touch, and form an organization. We can see this in the occult masonry, semi-occult Jansenism or modernism, or openly declared as Lutheranism or communism. This organization proposes to fight in all fields, ideological, artistic, social, political, economical, etc., in conquest of its goals. In a word, it performs revolution. Now, what's the role of the devil in this fight, or at least its action in the phenomenon described by St. John Bosco? The saint clearly admits preternatural action as plausible. The devil was the first author and continues to be the principal factor of the revolution. I'll end this video with a final quote from this great saint, which shows how he had no interest in keeping boys with evil tendencies at his oratory. He had just told them of a mystical dream in which the devil appeared in the form of a fiendish elephant and was vanquished by Our Lady. To our saint's disdain, some boys standing alongside the devil were swallowed into hell, boys who were listening in the audience at his good night talk. So he said to them, to finish, "It is now up to you, my sons. Examine your conscience to know if you are safe under Mary's mantle, if the elephant flung you into the air, or if you wielded a sword. All I can repeat is what the Virgin said. Come you all to me. Run to her. Call her in any danger, and I assure you that your prayers will be heeded. Those badly mauled by the elephant must learn to avoid foul talk and bad companions. Those striving to entice their companions from Mary must change their ways or leave this house immediately. Now, if anyone wants to know which role he played, let him come to my room, and I'll tell him. I repeat, Satan's accomplices must either mend their ways or go. Good night." Thank you all so much for watching, and if you'd like to see a playlist with more dreams of St. John Bosco, just click on the link above me here. God bless you, and Our Lady keep you.